the sky over Earth suddenly changed. A massive alien fleet appeared out of nowhere. Thousands of ships, larger than any human building, hovered above the major cities. Their metal glowed with strange blue and purple energy. From orbit to the ground, every scanner and satellite detected them. Panic spread instantly. These were not ordinary aliens. They were arrogant, speaking through massive broadcasts that filled every communication channel. "We are the gods," they declared. "Earth belongs to us. You will bow or you will be destroyed." In Washington, London, Beijing, and Moscow, leaders stared at the screens. Governments were in chaos. Some military generals wanted to strike immediately. Scientists argued for caution. Every country debated what to do, but no one had a clear answer. Humanity had never faced anything like this before. Meanwhile, small alien scouts began to land. They were humanoid, tall and glowing faintly under the sun. Their armor reflected light in strange patterns, making them look almost untouchable. They walked through city streets with ease, showing no fear. People watched from windows and streets, terrified. Despite their appearance, something seemed off. The aliens moved slowly, calculated, and too confident. They assumed humans would panic, run, and surrender. They underestimated Earth's population. Strange events began happening near the landing sites. Electronics would malfunction, but only temporarily. Birds and animals behaved oddly, avoiding the aliens completely. Some humans noticed that the aliens' energy fields fluctuated when near large groups of people. It was subtle, almost invisible, but the scientists observing carefully noted it. Inside underground command centers, human scientists worked around the clock. They studied the alien ships, their signals, their weapons. Every piece of data was analyzed. Slowly, patterns began to emerge. The energy shields the aliens flaunted were powerful, yes, but they had weaknesses. Small anomalies in their weapons' energy bursts showed they were not invincible. Still, the aliens believed themselves unstoppable. From orbit, they projected messages across all screens. "Resistance is pointless. Your technology is primitive. You cannot stop the will of the gods. Submit or be erased." Their voices echoed through cities, calm and cold, like ice sliding over steel. In New York, a young engineer named Sarah watched the broadcast with her team. She whispered, "They are powerful, but they think we are weak. They don't know humans yet." Her colleague nodded. "Exactly. They assume fear will win. But they have never faced humanity united." Small incidents in the streets began testing human resolve. Some alien scouts approached humans directly, expecting obedience. But citizens resisted in small ways, blocking paths, throwing objects, even just standing still. The aliens were confused. Their divine authority was not being accepted easily. On the global level, military leaders decided to prepare a cautious response. Human fleets began quietly moving to strategic positions. Fighter jets and warships readied weapons, but no one dared attack first. The scientists provided guidance. Study, wait, and strike when the aliens reveal their real weakness. As the hours passed, tension grew. Cities went into lockdown. Civilians hid, terrified but also curious. News reports and social media spread images of the glowing alien ships. Everywhere, people whispered the same question: can humanity really fight them? The aliens, growing impatient, intensified their threats. Massive holographic projections of their commanders appeared in skies over Tokyo, Paris, and Rio. "Submit to your gods," they boomed. "Your resistance is meaningless. All life on Earth will kneel." But beneath the fear, humans were planning. Engineers, scientists, and military officers worked together in hidden bunkers. The world realized something important. The aliens were strong, but they were not perfect. Every machine, every weapon, every energy shield had a flaw if observed carefully. Humanity's greatest strength was not firepower, it was intelligence, courage, and unity. As the first night fell under the alien fleet, humans silently observed their visitors. From rooftops, towers, and hidden satellites, they studied every move. They prepared for a first strike, not reckless but calculated. The aliens had underestimated the people they called primitive. And then, just before midnight, a broadcast from the alien commander filled every screen once again. "Resistance is pointless. Your fate is sealed." The message was meant to intimidate. Instead, it ignited determination. Humans looked at one another in silence, understanding what needed to be done. The war was about to begin, but not the war the aliens expected. Humanity's first move would be quiet, smart, and deadly. The gods had never faced humans before, and Earth was ready to show them what courage really meant. The battle for Earth had begun. The sky was filled with alien ships, but humanity's eyes were fixed on their weakness, waiting for the perfect moment. And when it came, no god would ever expect what humans could do. Ending hook. The aliens believed all resistance was pointless. Humanity prepared for its first move, quiet, careful, and unexpected. The war for Earth had only just begun. The first night under the alien fleet passed with eerie quiet. Earth's cities were dark except for emergency lights, but the human mind was never at rest. Scientists, engineers, and military leaders worked in underground bunkers. Every screen, every radar, every satellite feed was watched carefully. Humanity had never faced such arrogant enemies. The aliens called themselves gods, yet they had shown subtle flaws. Their energy shields flickered sometimes, weapons overheated if fired too often, and their ships moved slower when coordinating large formations. Small patterns, almost invisible, revealed their weaknesses. Sarah, the young engineer from New York, worked with her team in a hidden command center. "If we can exploit their patterns," she whispered, "we might survive the first attack, maybe even hurt them." Her colleague, a military officer named Captain Harris, frowned. "We need precision. One wrong move and they'll crush us instantly." Meanwhile, reconnaissance drones flew carefully near alien ships. They returned with shocking images. The aliens had no real defenses on the lower hull of their massive cruisers. Their arrogance had blinded them to simple vulnerabilities. They assumed no human could get close. In Washington, a council of leaders debated openly. Some wanted to broadcast a warning to civilians: prepare for total war. Others argued for secrecy. "If they know we're studying them," one general said, "they'll adapt faster. We must be smart, not loud." Across Earth, humanity was quietly mobilizing. Fighter jets moved under radar, guided by stealth technology. Small naval fleets positioned themselves along coasts. Scientists worked day and night to modify weapons, making them precise and powerful enough to exploit the aliens' weaknesses. The aliens, arrogant as ever, made mistakes. Small patrol ships descended too close to cities, expecting humans to flee. But humans did not. Civilians blocked streets, creating chaos that confused the scouts. Engineers had rigged electromagnetic pulses that disrupted alien electronics temporarily. Sarah and Captain Harris watched the first test strike carefully. A small squad of human fighters engaged a lone scout ship. The plan was simple: hit the weak spots, observe, then retreat. The alien ship, confident and careless, moved too close to the city lights. Humans attacked. The energy shields of the scout flickered violently, and the ship stumbled mid-air. Humans pulled back before it could recover. The aliens were shocked. "Impossible!" the scout commanders screamed through their communication channels. They struck without fear. Word spread quickly among the humans in the bunkers. The first strike worked. A tiny victory, but it sent a message, not just to the aliens but to humanity itself. Humans realized that courage and intelligence could even challenge beings calling themselves gods. In the alien fleet, confusion spread. Messages of panic and anger were broadcast from one ship to another. "How can they resist? They are only humans," the commanders shouted. Their arrogance turned into frustration. Every calculation had failed to predict human strategy. Meanwhile, humans continued their reconnaissance. Satellites captured energy fluctuations in alien ships during combat. Scientists realized that the shields took time to recharge after every energy burst. This knowledge became critical. Humans were no longer just surviving, they were learning, adapting, and preparing for a larger strike. Despite these victories, the human leaders remained cautious. Captain Harris warned, "One small victory does not mean we can beat them yet. They are still far stronger. We need patience." Sarah nodded. "But patience with action. Every move we make now counts for the next fight." The aliens underestimated human adaptability. They assumed fear and brute power would control the planet. They did not expect humans to learn from observation, to turn weaknesses into strength, or to fight with both brains and courage. Across the globe, civilians also began playing their part. Workers, engineers, and even students helped with communication networks, supply lines, and minor sabotage. Every human contribution, no matter how small, became a piece of the larger strategy. By the end of the second day, humans had created a secret network across Earth. Every attack, observation, and analysis was shared instantly. Humanity was no longer reacting, they were planning. The first strike had been small, almost symbolic, but it proved one undeniable truth: the aliens could be challenged. That evening, the alien commanders made another broadcast. "Resistance is futile," they warned. Their voices were still calm, but the tension beneath was visible in their holographic images. Humans watched silently, knowing better. Resistance was not futile, it was the first step toward victory. Sarah smiled faintly as she studied the alien ships on her screen. They think they are invincible. They don't understand humans yet. And soon, they will learn. The world held its breath. The self-proclaimed gods had underestimated Earth's defenders. Humanity's secret response was ready, smart, and unpredictable. The real war had not started yet, but when it did, no one would see it coming. Ending hook. The aliens believed themselves all-powerful. Humanity quietly prepared, learning every flaw, every weakness. The first strike was only the beginning. The unexpected war was far from over, and the gods had no idea what humans were capable of. The sun rose over Earth, but the light could not reach the fear in the hearts of billions. Above the cities, the alien fleet hovered like a dark storm. They called themselves gods, yet today they would face something entirely unexpected. In secret, humanity had prepared. Fighter squadrons lined up along hidden airstrips. Naval ships moved into position off coasts. Satellites and drones watched the aliens every second. Engineers adjusted weapons, calibrating them to target weak points in alien shields. This was no reckless attack, it was a carefully planned first strike. Sarah and Captain Harris stood in the command center, staring at the screens. Every alien ship was visible now, from massive cruisers to smaller scouts. Today, Harris whispered, we show them that Earth is not weak. Sarah nodded, her fingers flying over the controls, sending final commands to hidden units. The first strike began quietly. A squad of human stealth fighters emerged from the clouds, invisible to alien sensors. They targeted a small cruiser hovering above a coastal city. The human missiles struck precise points in the ship's energy grid. The alien ship shuddered. Energy shields flickered, and the hull trembled. For the first time, the aliens realized that humans could attack them, and survive. A broadcast crackled from the ship. How are they doing this? Humans pulled back before the alien ship could retaliate. It was a small victory, but a critical one. It proved that the aliens were not invincible. Civilians, watching from windows and screens, gasped and whispered, humans, we can fight back. Across Earth, similar attacks happened. Small, strategic strikes hit alien patrols. Drones jammed communications, sabotage teams disrupted their landing zones, and hidden human units forced the aliens to retreat from several cities. The aliens, previously confident, were now in disbelief. Their commanders shouted in panic. They are organized. How can humans be so coordinated? The arrogance that had filled their broadcasts turned into fear. Every calculation had failed to predict the humans' cunning. Captain Harris monitored the battlefield carefully. This is what we needed, he said. They are strong, but they are predictable when they underestimate us. Keep pressing, but don't overextend. Sarah adjusted another control panel. Their shields overheat if used repeatedly. If we time the attacks right, we can force larger ships to fall before they recover. One strike at a time, Harris. One strike at a time. The alien fleet attempted to retaliate, firing energy blasts at human cities. But humans were ready. Stealth fighters dodged, decoys confused the alien targeting systems, and cities were shielded with emergency energy barriers. The aliens' own arrogance had made them predictable. People across the globe began to see hope. Humanity was fighting back. No longer were humans running or hiding, they were learning, adapting, and proving that courage and strategy could challenge even beings calling themselves gods. In orbit, one massive alien warship hovered over Tokyo. It unleashed a beam of destructive energy, expecting total chaos. But human engineers had prepared a counter. Energy pulses disrupted the alien weapon, forcing the ship to retreat with sparks flying from its hull. The first major alien defeat in history had occurred. The alien commanders were furious. Their divine authority had been broken. Messages between their ships were filled with panic and anger. They are humans. They are fighting like monsters, one commander screamed. Captain Harris smiled grimly. This is what happens when arrogance meets courage. Sarah nodded. And we are just getting started. The first strike had changed everything. Humans had proven that intelligence, strategy, and bravery could challenge power and technology far beyond their own. The aliens had believed Earth would kneel. Instead, humanity had struck first, and struck with precision. But the human leaders knew this was only the beginning. The aliens were powerful and they would respond. Larger fleets would come, more destructive weapons would be used, and the sky over Earth would soon become a true battlefield. Sarah looked at the screens, watching the retreating alien cruiser. "They think they are gods," she said softly. "They have no idea what humans are capable of when we fight together." The citizens of Earth slept uneasily that night, unaware of the full scale of what had just begun. Above them, alien ships regrouped, preparing for a counterattack. The arrogance of the self-proclaimed gods had been broken, but the real war was only starting. Ending hook. Humanity had struck first, and succeeded. The aliens were shaken but far from defeated. The first strike had shown one undeniable truth: the gods were not untouchable and Earth's defenders had only begun to fight. The unexpected war was escalating, and no one knew what the next day would bring. The alien fleet was larger now, more aggressive and filled with rage. Above Earth, their massive ships blocked the sun, casting shadows across oceans and cities. They had underestimated humanity once, but now they wanted revenge. Every holographic broadcast from their commanders was filled with fury. "Crush them. They are only humans." But humanity had learned. The first strike had revealed the aliens' arrogance, and humans used it against them. Fighter squadrons moved like shadows through the sky. Naval fleets launched precision missiles from hidden positions. Satellites guided weapons to strike the weak points of alien cruisers. Every move was calculated. Every attack was deadly. In the underground command center, Sarah and Captain Harris watched the battlefield. "They're coming with everything they have," Harris said. "But we know their patterns now. We can fight them." Sarah nodded, her eyes scanning the screens. "It's time to turn the battle in our favor." The first major clash began above the Pacific Ocean. Hundreds of human fighters engaged the alien patrols. The aliens fired energy blasts that could destroy cities, but humans had prepared decoys and evasive maneuvers. The fight was fast, brutal, and chaotic, but humans were smart. Every strike targeted the aliens' vulnerabilities. One alien cruiser moved too close to a human fleet, assuming it could blast them into submission. It did not anticipate the hidden energy nets humans had deployed. The massive ship became entangled, its engines faltering. Human missiles hit the weak points, and for the first time, a cruiser of the gods faltered in orbit. On Earth, civilians watched the glowing skies with awe and fear. Cities were not destroyed, thanks to careful human strategy, but the spectacle was terrifying. Humans realized that courage and intelligence could rival alien firepower. Children whispered in fear and excitement, "They are humans, they are winning." In space, the aliens' confidence cracked. Their commanders shouted at each other, trying to coordinate attacks, but humans had studied their communication patterns. Small sabotage units disrupted their signals, making large formations stumble. How can they fight us so efficiently?" an alien admiral roared. Their so-called divine superiority was fading. Captain Harris directed the next move. "Split the fleet. Draw them into traps. Force their big ships to expose their weak points." Human fighters executed the plan flawlessly. One by one, alien ships struggled to recover from the precise attacks. Explosions lit the skies like artificial lightning. Sarah analyzed the energy shields of alien ships. Every shield takes time to recharge after multiple blasts. "We strike in waves. They cannot withstand continuous attacks. This is our advantage." Human engineers optimized weapons to exploit this, turning human ingenuity into a deadly weapon. Despite the aliens' power, humans dominated the battle. They were unpredictable, using intelligence over brute force. Every time the aliens tried to adjust, humans had already anticipated the move. It was not strength that won this day, it was strategy. Above Europe, another massive battle unfolded. An alien warlord attempted to destroy a human city using a massive energy cannon. But humans had secretly deployed orbital interceptors. The cannon was disrupted, sending massive energy feedback back to the alien ship. Sparks and explosions rained from orbit as humans watched in tense silence. The aliens were stunned, they had never expected humans to fight with such precision. The morale of human defenders soared. Civilians who had hidden underground now assisted in communication and supply networks. Engineers repaired weapons on the fly. Every human contribution mattered. This was not just a battle, it was a display of human unity, intelligence, and courage. In orbit, the largest alien warship, called the Divine Hammer, moved to strike. It was the pride of the alien fleet. But humans had been waiting for it. Squadrons of fighters attacked its weak points, drones jammed its shields, and precision missiles exploded along the hull. The Divine Hammer faltered, unable to recover, and had to retreat. The alien commanders were shocked. They had assumed themselves unbeatable. "These humans, they are monsters," one screamed, shaking in disbelief. Arrogance and confidence had been their greatest weapon, and their greatest weakness. Sarah watched the retreating alien ships. They believed they could dominate us, she said softly. But humans do not bow to fear. We fight, we adapt, and we survive. This is only the beginning. Captain Harris nodded grimly. We have won a part of the battle, but the aliens will come back stronger. We must remain ready, smart, and united. They have power, but we have something they cannot understand: human courage and intelligence. As night fell, Earth's defenders took stock of their victories. Humans had turned the tide, surprising the galaxy's self-proclaimed gods. Yet, above the stars, alien warships regrouped, planning their next assault. The battle for Earth was far from over, but humanity had shown that even gods could be challenged. Ending hook. The aliens had suffered unexpected defeats. Their arrogance was shattered. Humanity had turned the battle in their favor, proving that courage, strategy, and unity could rival the might of the self-proclaimed gods. But the skies still held danger. The war for Earth was escalating, and the next move could change everything. The alien fleet had regrouped. Above Earth, the sky burned with their massive ships, larger and more numerous than ever before. They had underestimated humans once, twice, and now they were determined to crush them. Their commanders broadcasted threats across every screen: Earth will kneel, submit, or be annihilated. But humanity was ready. The first strikes, the secret responses, and the battles above oceans and cities had taught them much. Engineers had optimized weapons, fighters had trained relentlessly, and humans had learned the patterns of the alien fleet. The stage was set for the final confrontation, the showdown that would determine the fate of Earth. Captain Harris stood at the central command hub, watching the screens with a calm intensity. "This is it," he said. "We strike with everything we have, but we must remain precise. One mistake and the aliens will destroy us." Sarah adjusted the targeting systems for the orbital defense fleet. Their shields overheat when they fire continuously. If we hit the right points at the right time, we can bring down their largest ships. Timing is everything. The first wave of human fighters leapt from hidden positions. They weaved through the alien patrols, evading energy blasts that could obliterate cities. Precision missiles hit the cruisers at weak points identified days earlier. The aliens faltered, confused by the humans' intelligence and bravery. From orbit, the massive alien warship, Divine Hammer, prepared to fire a weapon capable of leveling a continent. But humans were ready. Orbital interceptors launched in perfect timing, disrupting the weapon's energy core. Sparks and explosions tore through the ship's hull, forcing it to retreat in flames. On the ground, humans coordinated strikes with stealth drones and energy pulse weapons. Alien scouts tried to land in cities, expecting obedience, but humans had set traps. Electrical fields and EMPs disabled their technology temporarily, giving human units the upper hand. Every alien commander was in disbelief. They had called themselves gods, believing no mortal race could challenge them. Yet humans fought with unity, intelligence, and fearlessness. Every attack was calculated, every move anticipated. The arrogance of the aliens became their greatest weakness. Captain Harris directed the next move. Focus on the largest ship in the fleet. Hit it from multiple directions. Force it to expose its weak points. Human squadrons obeyed, striking with perfect coordination. The massive alien ship faltered as energy shields fluctuated, hull breaches forming along the sides. In the alien command center, panic spread. "How are they doing this?" an alien admiral screamed. "They are only humans. They cannot possibly coordinate like this." But humans had proven that courage, strategy, and intelligence could overcome raw power. Sarah watched the final moments unfold. "They think they are invincible," she murmured. "But they have never faced humans determined to protect their home." With a final series of coordinated strikes, the alien ship exploded in a shower of fire and metal. The fleet wavered, losing confidence. Seeing the largest ships fall, the remaining alien leaders panicked. Their arrogance crumbled. "Retreat," one commander ordered. We underestimated them. They are not weak. We are beaten." On Earth, cheers erupted from underground command centers and city streets alike. Humans had done what no one thought possible. The self-proclaimed gods had been forced to retreat. Humanity had struck decisively, proving that courage, intelligence, and unity could rival the might of the galaxy's most arrogant beings. But even in victory, humans remained vigilant. They knew the alien fleet could return, more powerful and more determined. Captain Harris addressed the command hub. "Today we won a major battle. But the war is not over. We must prepare for whatever comes next." Sarah nodded, studying the retreating fleet on the screen. They thought fear and power could control us. They were wrong. Humanity has learned, adapted, and struck back. We are not just survivors, we are defenders of Earth. Above the skies, the retreating alien ships cast long shadows. The self-proclaimed gods had been humbled, kneeling not in submission but in shock and fear. Across Earth, humans looked to the heavens, knowing that their intelligence, bravery, and unity had changed the course of history. Ending hook. The alien fleet had been forced to retreat. The gods had been humbled. But beyond the stars, other eyes watched. Observers from distant worlds had seen humanity's courage and ingenuity. Earth had survived, and the galaxy had taken notice. The final victory was near, but new threats were already stirring in the darkness. Humanity's fight was far from over. The alien fleet had retreated. The skies above Earth were finally clearing, revealing the sun's warm light after days of shadows cast by the massive ships. Humans stood victorious, but the victory was not celebrated with reckless joy. There was a quiet understanding. Survival had come at a cost, and the galaxy had just witnessed something it would never forget. Captain Harris walked through the command center, watching exhausted engineers and soldiers as they coordinated cleanup and repairs. "We've won this battle," he said, voice calm but firm. "But the war is never truly over. We must learn from this and we must stay ready." Sarah, still seated at her console, looked out at the screens showing retreating alien ships. "They thought themselves gods," she whispered. "They believed nothing could challenge them. But they underestimated humans. They underestimated courage, intelligence, and unity." Across Earth, cities began to recover. Communication networks were restored, damaged infrastructure repaired, and civilians returned cautiously to the streets. Humanity had survived a threat it could not have imagined, and yet the lessons of the war were clear. Fear alone did not define a species. Intelligence, courage, and strategy did. In the alien fleet, commanders argued in desperation. They had expected obedience, but humans had fought back, and won. For the first time, beings who called themselves divine had been humbled by a species they deemed primitive. Their arrogance had been their downfall. Back on Earth, the human leaders convened to assess the aftermath. Every city, every fleet, and every system had contributed. Scientists explained the weaknesses of alien technology. Engineers outlined improvements in defense. Military officers developed new strategies. Humanity had learned not only to survive, but to dominate through unity and ingenuity. Sarah watched as reports came in from across the globe. Small teams of humans had trapped alien scouts, disabling their ships and forcing retreat. Civilians had taken part in clever sabotage and intelligence gathering. The war had been fought not only by soldiers, but by every human willing to contribute. The lesson was clear: humans were stronger than the aliens had ever imagined, not because of size or weapons but because of adaptability, courage, and cooperation. Even in the face of beings claiming to be gods, humanity had proven it would never kneel. Captain Harris addressed the command hub one final time: "We have survived the impossible. We have humbled the arrogant. But remember, this victory is only part of our story. The galaxy is watching. Other civilizations will see what humans are capable of. We must be ready, vigilant, and united. Our strength lies not in fear, but in our will to survive and protect our home." The skies above Earth were calm now, but far beyond the atmosphere, distant observers took notice. Other species who had watched the events unfold were shocked. Humans were no longer a race to be ignored or dismissed. Across the galaxy, whispers began. The species that had survived impossible odds, the race that had forced gods to kneel, had emerged as a force to be reckoned with. Sarah and Harris shared a quiet moment. "They'll be back," Harris said softly, eyes fixed on the horizon. "Stronger, smarter, more determined. But we are ready." Sarah smiled faintly. "Yes. And next time we will not just defend. We will strike. We will show them that Earth belongs to humans, and that no one, not even self-proclaimed gods, can challenge our courage or our unity." Across the planet, humans began rebuilding, learning, and preparing. The world had changed forever. Humanity's victory was not just a survival story, it was a message to the galaxy. Never underestimate Earth and never underestimate humans. Ending hook. As the alien fleet vanished into the stars, a mysterious signal was detected by deep space sensors. It pulsed with unknown energy heading toward Earth. The signal was faint but unmistakable, a warning or perhaps the arrival of a new, even greater threat. Humanity had won the battle, but the war for the galaxy had only just begun. And Earth's defenders were ready to face whatever came next.